factoring a trinomial, which is a second-degree polynomial. First thing, you want to multiply leading coefficient a and last number, which is constant. Then you want to list all the factor pairs of that product. Choose the factor pair that adds up to the middle term. Then you want to rewrite the middle term as the sum of the factor pairs. And after that, you can factor by grouping. So here we have to factor 4x squared plus 13x plus 3. So the first step is to multiply 4 and 3, and we get 12. We need all of the factor pairs of 12. Well, we started with 4 times 3, that's 1. The sum of these two numbers is 7. There is another factor pair. 6 times 2 will give us 12 also. Well, this sum is 8. That's not enough. You can also get 12 out of multiplying by multiplying 12 times 1. And this sum is 13. So 12 and 1 is the factor pair that works for our problem. So now we want to rewrite 13 as 12x plus 1x, and you want to keep everything else as is. And now we can factor by grouping. So we can divide these two by 4x. So this will simplify into 4x. This cancels. X plus this cancels. 4 into 12 3 times. From the second group we can take out just 1. So we have plus 1 x plus 3. Now we factor out x plus 3. Whatever goes in denominators goes on the outside. This and this will cancel, and we have 4x plus 1 times x plus 3, and this is our solution. To check, we want to multiply 4x plus 1 times x plus 3. So we do 4x times x plus 4x times 3 plus 1 times x plus 1 times 3, and this will simplify into 4x to the second plus 4 times 3, 12x plus 1x plus 1 times 3, 3, and these two are like terms, so we have 4x2 plus 13x plus 3, and this checks out. So here we have 5y to the second minus 11y plus 2. First thing is to multiply 5 and 2, and the product is 10. We need two factors of 10 that add up to this middle term. Well, 5 and 2 has sum of 7, so these two will not work. Then we also have 1 times 10. This sum will be 11. However, we need it to be negative. Well, negative 1 times negative 10, we get positive 10. But the sum of negative 1 and negative 10 is negative 11. So let's rewrite this. We have negative 1y minus 10y, and they will combine into negative 11 back, which is good. Keep everything else as is. And now we factor by grouping. So these two can be divided by y. We get y times 5y minus 1. In the second group, we need to change the sign, so I'm going to divide by negative 2. So we have negative 2, negative divided by negative, we get positive 5y, positive divided by negative, negative 1. Now we factor out the parentheses, so we get 5y negative 1 in this denominator, 5y minus 1 in this denominator. Whatever goes in denominators goes on the outside. So this cancels, we have y minus 2 times 5y minus 1, and this is our solution. Here we have to factor 3x squared plus 4x minus 4. So the first thing here is to multiply 3 and negative 4, and the product is negative 12. The only way you can have product to be a negative is when one of the factors is positive and the other one is negative. Now, if you're combining two signed numbers with opposite signs, you will be calculating difference. So the first obvious pair is 3 and 4 because this is how we got 12. However, these two numbers have difference of 1, so they are not good. 12 times 1 will give us 12 back. Unfortunately, difference between 12 and 1 is 11. Now we also have 6 times 2. Now the difference between 6 and 2 is 4, which is good. Now we just need to figure out which one needs to be positive, which one needs to be negative. Now we have positive 4x, so we need more positives and less negatives. Now we can rewrite this 4x as positive 6x minus 2x. You want to keep everything else as is. Now we factor by grouping. So we can divide these two by 3x. So we have 3x. This cancels. X plus 3 goes into 6 2 times. This cancels. We need to change the signs. So we will be dividing by a negative. 2 will go into 2 and 4. So we get negative 2 times negative divided by negative positive x. Negative divided by negative plus 2. Now we can factor out this parentheses. So we get x plus 2. X plus 2. Whatever goes in denominators goes on the outside. X plus 2. This cancels, and we have 3x minus 2 times x plus 2. And this is our solution. Factor 10x squared plus 3x minus 1. First thing, multiply those two numbers. So we have 10 times negative 1. So the product is negative 10. You're gonna be looking for difference. We need two factors of 10 that have difference of 3. Well, 10 and 1 have difference of 9. The other set is, well, 2 times 5 gives us 10. These two numbers have difference of 3. We need more positives and less negatives. So negative 2, positive 5. The first step is to rewrite this as negative 2x plus 5x. Keep everything else as is. And now we can factor. This can be divided by 2x. So we have 2x. 2 goes into 10 5 times x. This cancels, minus 1. 5 and 1 can be divided by 1, plus 1. So we have plus 1, 5x minus 1. Let's factor out the parentheses. So we have out of 5x minus 1, out of 5x minus 1 times 5x minus 1. This cancels. We have 2x plus 1 times 5x minus 1. And this is our solution. So here we have 4x to the fourth plus 8x to the second minus 5. This problem can be done by substitution, but factoring by grouping will work just perfectly fine. So first thing we need to do is to multiply 4 and negative 5. So we get negative 20. Since a product is negative, we'll be looking for difference. We need two factors of negative 20 that have difference of positive 8. Well, 4 and 5 have difference of 1, so that's not good. Then we have 2 and 10 that has difference of 8, so this is the pair we need to work with. We need more positives, less negatives, so we will rewrite 8 as negative 2x to the second plus 10x to the second. Let's keep everything else as is. So here we can take out x to the second. We can also divide both of these by 2. Now here we can divide both of these by 5. Now we have 2x to the second times 2x to the second minus 1 plus 5 2x to the second minus 1 out of 2x squared minus 1 out of 2x squared minus 1. Whatever goes in denominators goes on the outside. This cancels, and we get 2x squared plus 5 times 2x squared minus 1. And this is our solution. Okay, so here we have some big numbers, but 8, 16, and 10 are all even numbers, so I know we can take out 2 out of all of them before we even start factoring trinomial. So we get 2 4x squared plus 8x minus 5. And now we have slightly smaller numbers to work with. Once again, we multiply 4 and negative 5. Product is negative 20, so we will be looking for difference. We need two factors that have difference of 8, so 4 and 5 have difference of 1. That's not good. 10 and 2 have difference of 8. We need more positives, less negatives. Rewrite 8x as plus 10x minus 2x. Keep everything else as is. Let's factor these two. 4 and 10 can be divided by 2. X. Here we need to take out the negative sign. We'll do it by dividing by negative 1. So now this thing simplifies into 2x. 2 goes into 4 2 times. X squared divided by x gives us x. Plus 10 divided by 2, 5. X's cancel. Minus 1. Negative divided by negative gives us positive 2x. Negative divided by negative gives us positive 5. And we just need to take out the parentheses. So we divide both of these by 2x plus 5. Whatever goes in denominators goes on the outside. This cancels, this cancels. So this whole thing will simplify into 2 times 2x minus 1 times 2x plus 5. And this is our solution. That's all.